Hello everyone! Today I'm at Fox Studios where Physiocise is. It's called Physiocise because it's run by physiotherapists. And I can't think of a better way to get your exercise and to get treated for all your aches and pains at one place. I'm lucky to have Maria King, who has been my physio a long time ago when I was working at the Prince of Wales Hospital. I had neck pains and back pains, poor posture, using the phone without headsets, so my neck was constantly tight and needed treatment. Maria's here today to tell you a bit more about Physiocise, and I hope that many of you will see the advantages of coming here, getting your core fixed or your aches and pains dealt with, and leaving feeling really good.
Well, thank you, Shirley, for that lovely introduction. Yes, my name's Maria King and I'm a physio, and I've been working here at Physiocise for some years. Now, Physiocise has been around for over 20 odd years. And initially started in the early days because there was a bit of a gap between physio treatment and people getting back into exercise and getting active again, and not necessarily being the gym crowd. So Physiocise is all about assessing people and getting them ready and moving and slotted into a class that's going to build on their strength, not only their general strength, but with core support and awareness of how they use their bodies to minimise chances of recurrent injuries. So it's very much exercise based, but we do see you initially for an assessment to make sure that we get an understanding of who you are, your life story in a way, but essentially what injuries you might have incurred, what postures you might have been developing, potentially bad habits in that need to be modified and corrected before we then give you the right sort of advice that might include not only the classes but some tips and tricks to consider what you're doing at home that you might benefit from, so that you sort of live the life that you want to live and get back to doing all the things that you enjoy doing. On that note, we will get people that come in the door that might be in their teens and having problems with their backs and necks at that stage, and often in that age group it reflects again their postures and maybe a lack of exercise in that category. Not all kids do lots of team sports. If you do, so much better, and in that case they might have injuries they incur from sports that might need a little bit of attending to, which we can address and then give them advice and exercises that help get them back to that full performance. And then their age range is right through to those that are in their 80s, and I've even got this delightful man in his 90s that comes to one of my classes, and we look after that age group. Particularly they have different issues relating to balance, for instance, just general conditioning. Again, posture is always an issue that we address, so there's a really broad spectrum. So if you were to come to Physiocise, we would get you to make an assessment. I would see you, or one of the other physios would see you for an hour's consultation just to get an overview of where you're at, what your concerns are. And a lot of people that do walk in the door have their necks and backs that are problems. As we age, our knees and our hips can become potentially arthritic. So there's very much a focus on assessing you and where your limitations are so that we can address them. Is it stretching that you need a little bit more of? Is it core strengthening that you need more of? Is it just overall upper body and lower body strength? And that's incorporated in the whole package per se. So after that initial assessment, we then decide what your needs are. Usually you'll come to a cluster of classes that run through a particular foundations of what we cover in classes, for want of a better term, and they run through simple basics like how you can sit a little better to take the load off your back and your neck, how you might stand in the kitchen preparing a meal. Can you stand a little better? There are so many tips and tricks that we can give you, and it's quite an interesting observation where you might not necessarily be aware that you're someone that likes to stand on one leg, for instance, when you spend a bit of time standing, say for instance at the kitchen bench. Or if you sit, do you sit with your feet tucked under one another? Do you sit slumped? Obviously when you slump, it throws your head forward, then there's more load on your neck. So there's so many simple ways that you can leave from your first assessment where you go, wow, I can make a change in my life. And I like the fact that Physiocise, being exercise-based, makes you more empowered. It's a very proactive approach to getting back to full health and you getting what we want out of life, essentially. So just to talk you through from where you leave the foundations classes, you move on then to a more intensive exercise class. The general flow of classes would be that you would join a floppy or a flippy class. Now, the names are named as such to get you thinking. Why wouldn't you want to join a floppy class? The names were devised based on your level of flexibility. Those that go to the flippy class need a little bit more stretching, they're a little bit stiffer. Those that come to the floppy class need a little bit more core, and then we cover that to, I suppose, prioritise where the weak links might be in your physical fitness. And now, over the last probably 4 or 5 years, we've evolved such that we are covering things like bone health. So we've got strong bones classes that we conduct. We've also got classes that specifically target pelvic floor and core and women's health issues. And then there's the other classes that we run that are called slip saver classes, which then look after those that are in the category that need to be mindful of their balance. And that tends to be the older generation once you hit your 70s and so on. So each of those have a special niche. So the strong bones classes, we're very much looking at keeping bone health in check. So those of you that might have osteoporosis, osteopenia, there's particular exercises that you need to work to make sure that you're keeping your bones healthy. Resistance training is part of the issue, a lot of balance work. You need to do impact exercises. So there's specifics that we need to focus on there. In your core burn classes, there'll be time focused on doing core exercises that involve a floor workout, which to me overlaps with a Pilates style approach. However, a lot of what we want to do is functional exercise. So we get you on your feet, you want your legs strong to be able to squat, to lunge. We add resistance again there, and all of those exercises need a good core. The stronger your legs are, the less load there is on your back. If you've got a good core to support your back, you can move and do so much more and do it with confidence. Like, we want you to keep your confidence. It's interesting once you have an injury how often your confidence does take a blow as well, and we're here to help guide you through the right type of exercise at the right load, at the right frequency, to just transition you back to getting back to full health. And then the slip saver classes, in fact, again, a lot of balance work. There is a lot of conditioning, but often it needs to be paced at a level that's tailoring the energy needs of the group in front of me. So that's basically Physiocise in a nutshell. I have been working as a physio for so many years, and I can't tell you how much I still love my work. Physiocise is an absolutely fantastic form of exercise for anyone at any stage of their life. And the more you understand what you can do for yourself, understand how your body works, understand how poor postures sort of slip into the picture, but what you can do to correct them, it just empowers you and you feel so much more energetic, and you can get out there and do exactly what you want to do when you want to do it.
Thank you, Maria. You said everything that was important that I wanted my viewers to know. To be fair, when I was a regular client at the Physio Center where Maria worked with Kate and Shauna, who all treated me, they told me I needed to exercise to build up my muscles and strength so I wouldn't be in so much pain. And what did I tell them? I don't have time. And I regret that. I don't want you to look back and regret the time you could have spent to get the confidence that Maria talked about, to develop strength, to regain your balance. And that is so important as we grow older. And it applies to anyone from the youngest age to understand how important exercise is in developing your bones, your muscles, and your mind. I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching.